Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to all of you who are present here today. I am very excited to share to you my speech on the impact of Science Direct and the Philippine Electronic Journal subscriptions to world ranking of Philippine universities. As we all know, Science Direct is a large academic publishing platform that provides access to a wide range of scientific and technical literature. It is one of the most popular sources of research for academics and researchers around the world. So, for those universities who are desiring to be included in the world ranking of universities, particularly by Quacquarelli Simons or QS, there is a need for subscription to Science Direct because that will provide the intellectual stimulus as well as the vitamin in the academic life of faculty, students, and researchers. Science Direct can play a role in a university's performance in a number of ways. How? By definitely increasing research output. By providing access to a wide range of research journals and articles, Science Direct can make it easier for academics to conduct research and publish their findings. This can lead to an increase in the number of citations that a university receives, which is a critical factor that is often used in world rankings. An important role of Science Direct is in attracting top talent. Why is this so? By providing access to a wide range of research, Science Direct can help universities to show potential students and faculty members that they are committed to research excellence. This can make it easier for universities to attract the best and the brightest students and faculty members, which can lead to an improvement in their research output and world ranking. So, subscription to Science Direct is just like honey to ants. The more you have it, the better it is for talented students and faculty members to come to you because you have the important core knowledge that they're looking for in order for them to flourish in their research. How about this? Raising university profile. By publishing research in high quality journals, universities can raise their profile in the academic community. This can lead to increased recognition and prestige, which can make it easier for universities to attract funding and collaborate with other institutions. An important role also has to do with increasing citations. Science Direct can help universities to increase their citations by providing access to a large number of scholarly articles. This can help researchers to get their work noticed by other researchers. And it can also help them to build their reputation as experts in the field. Fostering international collaboration is another. Science Direct can help universities to increase their international collaboration by providing access to a global network of researchers. This can help researchers to find collaborators from other countries, and it can also help them to learn about new research methods and trends. This is also facilitated by a strategy that allows the teachers and the students to have co-authorship in their research. because co-authorship brings about international collaboration if the co-authors come from foreign universities. In addition to the factors mentioned, Science Direct can also help universities to improve their performance in world rankings by providing access to metrics. What is H-index? H-index was originally devised by Hirsch, Hirsch, who was an engineer at the time that he created these metrics. The H-index is a measure of a researcher's productivity and impact. It is calculated by counting the number of papers that have been published by a researcher and the number of times those papers have been cited. In short, H-index measures the relative position of a researcher globally. For example, if you have an H-index of 5, that is comparable with anyone who has also an H-index of 5 in any part of the world. Citation impact. What is this? Citation impact is a measure of the average impact of a researcher's publication. It is calculated by dividing the total number of citations received by a researcher's publications by the number of years since those publications were published. The higher the citation impact, the greater is the value of a researcher's contribution to the field that he is belonging to. Papers per faculty. This is an important metrics because it measures the productivity of a university's faculty. It is calculated by dividing the total number of papers published by a university's faculty by the number of faculty members. Citations per faculty. This metric, ladies and gentlemen, measures the impact of a university's faculty. It is calculated by dividing the total number of citations received by a university's faculty by the number of faculty members. Let me give you some specific examples of the major contributions of Science Direct to universities in world ranking. In 2018, the University of Oxford was ranked as the top university in the world by the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. Why? Precisely because one of the factors that contributed to Oxford's ranking was its high research output. Oxford publishes more research papers in Science Direct than any other university in the world. See, it really counts. In 2019, that's another example. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US was ranked as the top university in the world by QS World University Rankings. One of the factors that contributed to MIT's ranking was its high number of citations. MIT papers published in Science Direct are cited more often than papers published in any other academic publisher. In 2020, Stanford University was ranked as the top university in the world by academic ranking of world universities. One of the factors that contributed to Stanford's ranking was its high number of faculty members who are members of the National Academy of Sciences. Stanford has more faculty members who are members of the National Academy of Sciences than any other university in the world. Now, at this point, I would like to explain to you what is the role of the Philippine electronic journals in world ranking of Philippine universities. Ladies and gentlemen, Philippine e-journals is an aggregator company. that distributes the journals to universities in the Philippines. By aggregator is meant that any school, organization for that matter, can submit their electronic journals to PEJ, and PEJ will curate that and will process that in order that it can be distributed to colleges and universities and basic education libraries who are subscribers of PEJ services, as well as those libraries from the government, the city, the municipal, and the provincial libraries, the National Library of the Philippines, as well as the judicial libraries and the legal libraries of our House of Congress. It provides access to a wide range of journals, including both local and international journals. This allows universities in the Philippines to have access to the latest research in their field, which can help them, of course, to improve their teaching and research. So, the world map that you are looking at now shows the global presence of the readers of the Philippine e-journals, numbering more than 200 countries. Yes, more than 200 countries. And in the G20 or the G7 countries, meaning the world's top seven in political power and resources and uh, scientific advancement, all right, are also reading the journals distributed by PHA. In addition to providing access to journals, PJ also provides a number of services to universities, such as training on how to use the platform. Because you see, even the mere presence of the journals of PJ in the collection of the library does not always translate to utilization. So the librarians have to be trained, the teachers have to be trained, the deans have to be trained, the students have to be trained on how to effectively use the platform, how to use the search engine, for example. Second is help with article selection. Third, help with article submission. Yes, if you are a researcher and you want to submit your article to any of the journals, you can just contact PEJ, and PEJ will be the one to link you to the particular journal that you would like your article to be included. And then the fourth, help with marketing and promotion. So at this point, I would like to continue by explaining to you the contribution of PJ to universities in QS World Ranking. One is increasing the research output. Why is this so? Because PJ provides access to a wide range of journals, which can help universities to increase the research output. This is because researchers have access to a wider range of research papers and can therefore find more opportunities to publish their own work. Why? Because in the Philippines, there is only one aggregator company. In fact, we have calibrated, PHA has calibrated its system that it is no longer just plain aggregator, but it has also become an indexing company because it has enabled its capacity to provide the metrics necessary to be at least on the pathway for Clarivate Analytics and uh, Scopus Elsevier. PJ also provides access to high quality journals, which can help universities to improve the quality of the research. This is because researchers have access to the latest research findings and can therefore produce more up to date and relevant research. For example, uh, the Philippine Electronic Journals is classifying journals according to one, their inclusion in Scopus, their inclusion in Clarivate Analytics, their inclusion in the ASEAN Citation Index, their inclusion in um, CHED accreditation, right? And they are classifying the journals in terms of being regular, being premium, being super premium. So you as the researcher would always be guided in terms of the quality requirement that you would like the journals to give you so that there is a match between your expectation and what the journals can provide you. Increasing research visibility. PJ can also help universities to increase their visibility in the academic community. This is because PEJ indexes journals from all over the world, which means that researchers from other countries can find and access research from Philippine universities. For example, your journal is found in your own website in the university, but when you go to the library of Ateneo de Davao University or the University of the Philippines in Diliman, or you go to St. Louis University of Baguio, right? And then you go to their OPAC and you check on their collection. Your journal content is found there from the first volume that you submitted until the most current one. So your journal will have to have a chance to be read, analyzed, learned, and cited by students, faculty, and researchers in the universities and colleges and specialized libraries that subscribe to PJ. That is why it is a necessary vitamin for the academic community that a library possesses subscription to the Philippine Electronic Journals. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to explain to you certain academic policies on the utilization of Science Direct and the Philippine Electronic Journals. Because as I mentioned a while ago, the mere subscription and the mere presence of the journals in your database in the library does not always translate to their utilization, their citation, and there being an important element that nourishes the scientific mind of your people. So let's start the ball rolling on academic policies. Here are some academic policies that can be implemented to optimize the use of Science Direct and Philippine electronic journals in the improvement of teaching, research, extension, and invention of universities for their QS World Ranking efforts. Number one, establish a committee to oversee the use of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals. This committee should be composed of representatives from the library, the faculty, and administration. The committee's responsibilities will include developing policies and procedures for the use of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals, providing training to faculty and students on how to use Science Direct and PEJ, monitoring the usage of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals, making recommendations for improving the use of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals, For instance, Science Direct institutional subscribers are provided annual reports. And this report contains the utilization, the downloads, the citations of the journal, and the relative utilization of the contents according to the different academic disciplines. Okay? So it will be very, very important that the usage data provided by Science Direct and PEJ will be translated into policies and programs so that the subscription can be optimized. So that whatever cost it may entail is always justified and offsetted by how much nourishment our people inside our campuses from the use of Science Direct. Number two, provide a training to faculty and students on how to use Science Direct and Philippine e-journals. Okay. This training should cover the following topics: how to search for articles in Science Direct and Philippine e-journals, how to evaluate the quality of articles, and how to cite the articles. Let me give you as an example. Okay, in Liceo de Cagayan University, we had our subscriptions to international journals. At that time, I think it was with ProQuest and also the PEJ. Now, when the accreditors came, they cited that our subscription is one of the strong points, one of the best practices of the university, because not many of accredited schools have subscriptions. However, the accreditors were able to note that there was very little usage of the materials here, yeah, in the subscription. So in order that we would not lose the subscription, because we have to justify that the usage exceeded the cost of these subscriptions, we created a training. For example, I began training the together with of course the academic librarian director, library director, Dr. Linda Modoniedo. We trained first the academic council composed of the deans, the VPs, and the president on the utilization of this. So we brought them to um, the Liceo Net and made these demonstrations on how to use them. And they would not be able to finish the training if they will not be able to open their emails where they could find the articles that they have chosen and were able to send the articles to the emails. Then after that, we proceeded with the chairpersons, all right, and the year level coordinators for our um, College of Nursing. And from there, we proceeded to train the teachers of the major field. And then after that, training also for the GE or the General Education faculty. And then fifth year for engineering. And then fourth year for all of the courses. Third year, second year, first year, college. And then down to the high school. All right. So when everybody was trained, basically, they were able to appreciate the value of the subscription. And to make the long story short, until today, the university has maintained its subscriptions. So training is important. Third, monitor the usage of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals. The committee responsible for overseeing the use of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals should track the following metrics: the number of articles that are accessed, the number of articles that are downloaded, the number of articles that are cited, as well as the disciplines of the journal, of the articles that are um, providing for this content. Okay. Why? Because we would know which department, which college are not accessing the content. So the usage would point out certain groups, offices, or areas of the university that are optimizing or that are not optimizing the use of these um, subscribe journals. So it's important that we monitor the usage. And then we track down the graph um, over a 12-month period, and we try to analyze why is it that there are lean months, that there are saturated months. What could be the possible explanation for this? So that's good. Number 4, make recommendations for improving the use of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals. The committee responsible for overseeing the use of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals should make recommendations for improving the following: the search functionality of Science Direct and PJ, the user interface of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals, and the availability of articles in Science Direct and Philippine e-journals. And so for the user interface, what we did was to uh, write in bold letters, in bold words, the steps on how to open the subscriptions, and then have that laminated and then put that beside the computer net in the net room, so that they would no longer be asking people about how to use them. And today it will be good that we create a video file of this on the instructions and the demo for students and faculty researchers. And then we put that in the website of the school, particularly in the library, and also export that to our, um, what is this? Um, the YouTube account of our users. No, no, no. The YouTube account of the library, rather, and the research center, so that our people will be able to just access the YouTube video tutorials, and they would know exactly what to do. Okay, let me add another situation, because this actually happened, and this is a very good sharing that I think would be helpful to you. We created a policy, a set of policies such that, number 1, no syllabus of a faculty can be approved for implementation in the teaching field without the librarian's signature attesting to the fact that that syllabus already listed references from the journals that were subscribed in the bibliography of the syllabus. And that uh, the topic on how to access, utilize, cite, and use um, is included in the beginning part of the semester in the syllabus. And then the second one was that every teacher who was handling a class should be able to require at least one journal article that is connected directly to the lesson of that week. And such article should be reacted to and synthesized um, following 3 questions. One is, what what did I learn from this article that would help me as a student of my chosen major? Then second, what is the potential that this article will be useful to me when I do my research or my thesis later? And then thirdly, in what sense can this article be helpful in my future career when I will be employed? So just very brief, we make it sure that they are writing briefly, so that uh, that will no longer bother them. And if a student has an average number of subjects enrolled of 7. And every week he has 7 articles. You multiply that by about 7,000, for example. No? So 7 articles times 4 weeks, there are 28. And times 10 months, that's 280 times 7,000, for example. How much of that? And so what happened was that there was a crash of our facility, and we had to write a ProQuest to explain why we cannot anymore access. And Science Direct said that there is an unusual surge of a very high utilization, of very high downloads of students, no, of users coming from our university. And so we have to tell them that we have a new policy, and then there it goes. They restored our that service, or rather. What is the whole point of this? Without those two policies, okay, one for teachers in the course syllabi, the second one is for the students that they will be able to read at least one article per subject, and thirdly, that no teacher or no student can submit a proposal for oral defense and final defense if such a manuscript does not include sources coming from the scientific journals. And this will be manifested by the signature or attestation of the librarian. See? And lo and behold, it pollinated, it nourished the intellectual as well as the reflective and analytical skills of our teachers and students. In addition to these policies, ladies and gentlemen, universities can also promote the use of Science Direct and Philippine e-journals by one, making Science Direct and Philippine e-journals available to all faculty and students. This can be done by providing access to this facility through the university's library or by providing faculty and students with individual subscriptions, or that they can be given also remote access. Because the problem in the Philippines that I have seen is that all libraries will close until 9 in the evening. So it's a sad reality that just as everybody has time to read, then our libraries are closed. So by providing remote access, for example, they can read these resources even if our libraries are closed. Or in my travels to other countries, particularly in Hong Kong and Singapore and Malaysia and Thailand, there is a portion in the library that is not closed. And that portion there has all these electronic sources, and they even have a cafeteria, they have a couch, and they even have a lounge where students could linger by and read the sources. See, so today you are not a good library if you close for after 9 o'clock. There has got to be a portion of the library that is open, or at least you can be accessed remotely by your clients. Second, providing incentives for faculty and students to use these journals. This can be done by awarding faculty and students who publish articles in journals that are indexed in Science Direct or Philippine e-journals, or that students who have the most number of usage, the most number of downloads, and faculty who are also able to do that can be given corresponding incentives. Okay. Three, creating a culture of research and scholarship. This can be done by providing faculty and students with the resources and support they need to conduct research and publish their findings. So here is the global impact of the Philippine electronic journals. So the total number of site visits is 27 million. 27 million from more than 200 countries. Right. Visiting the website of the Philippine Electronic Journals. Then 3 million downloads. You can just imagine that. 16,308 total number of visits. 8.5 million reads. 193,197 total number of potential citations. 211 journal titles. And 128 institutional subscribers. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me end my presentation with this statement that globally the Philippines is visible, read, and cited by scholars. Indeed, the Philippine Electronic Journals is a global platform for Filipino researchers. And indeed, Science Direct has made it possible for any university to make its presence as a global key player in terms of quality of the delivery of educational services made known to the rest of the world. Thank you so much and good afternoon.